Hello again and a special welcome to another tutorial. I promised you in one of my last videos when I showed you how to do the front for a polo shirt or a blouse that I will show you a different variation of it. So that's what I'm going to do now. As you can see on here, this time I did something with a contrast and I buttoned it for a gent version. But no matter how I show this to you, you can at any time change it around to a ladies at the same time. I wanted to work with some different colors and materials, and I wanted to have like a little contrast sticking out here. And as you can see, my buttonholes on this particular one, on this placket, is not done with a buttonhole machine. No, I put the buttonholes inside the seam right in the middle, so that makes it really easy. Even if you might not have a buttonhole machine, you can do a variation of this at any time, and it really looks fantastic, and it's also very fun to make it, to do it. So what exactly do you need? You need the material and the cut already for the part that you want to stitch, including maybe a lining, because on here as well I like to show you that you can either, after you've done this, you can either just go around it with your overlock machine and clean it off, or with your zigzag, or if it is as an example for a dress, for a lady's dress, you can nicely finish it off with a lining. And that always looks very neat and very tidy. So what do you need besides your main two parts? You need all these stripes of right-angle pieces. The first piece you need, and I will tell you my widths, although you can always change your widths of this, and you can also change the lengths at any time. As an example, you could make this for a blouse or for a men's shirt, then you would do it all the way through to the bottom without having to do this slightly difficult corner there. So for the underneath part, as my stripe here is 3 centimeters wide, my finished width, I cut it 8 centimeters wide and length whatever you want, because here comes 1 centimeters away. That means my finished width is then 3. That's my underneath. In this particular case for gent, if I would have it on that side, for ladies. Exactly the same one I cut in the same width, 8 centimeters, and ironed it in half already. Same size as that one. Later on, while I'm sewing it, I can still make the decision, do I want this one on the bottom as an example here, and do I want that one on the top? I have to see how I feel and what I'm going to do out of it. Then comes the most important part. You need this part exactly to be drawn where your buttons will go. So on my 3 centimeters wide finished part, I cut this part, which is the white part here, 5 centimeters wide. I made myself a pattern. I marked it in positions where I would like to have my buttons or my buttonholes later. And you have to measure whichever size button you want to use for this hole you're going to leave. So I marked it exactly on my white stripe here, as you can see, without doing the mark all the way along. I left exactly the space for the buttonholes open, not that you stitch over that later. You can see I started there again and so on. And the same on the other side, because then I will take two other pieces which are only 3.5 centimeters wide, and I mark this on the left side on the material. This is the right side of the material. As I will put this on there next, and I will stitch to there, leave the buttonhole open, and so on and so on. Then I will take this second piece, which is also 3.5 centimeters cut wide, and I will do exactly the same here. and that will give me my buttonholes here at the end. So make yourself a good pattern in the widths how you would like to make your buttonhole placket. Get all the materials and everything together, and then you can follow me how I show you how to do this exactly, so you have a finished part like this for any nice coming shirt, blouse, dress, wherever you need it. Alright, why don't we get to work? First of all, start by taking your 2 small pieces and the one where you did the drawing for your buttonholes on. Now you put right side on right side and you start stitching directly on the drawing you did all the way down to the end. Make sure where you marked for your buttonholes to do a very good stitch back and forward, because you don't want that one to open up when you're trying to button your buttons later on. So that is so important for later on. Now you take the other one and take this side now and start exactly again on your drawing. Go along there. The better you got it marked for yourself, the better it will be. And continue. Maybe if you want to do one test after you stitch the first for the first hole, maybe you can once try the button through to make sure you left the hole big enough. So that's the first preparation, and now you have to go to the ironing and iron this apart, or just scratch it out like I'm doing in this case here, because the next job is to join those 2 pieces in half together. That means if you ironed it, it will be slightly better. I just show it to you like this. You have to put your seams exactly on top of each other. That is very important. So like I said, when it's ironed, it's slightly easier than what I'm doing here at the moment. And now this particular seam that you created here will be stitched there together, as long as you still keep on exactly put seam on seam. You can see this here very well. And just go all the way along down there. If it's nicely flat ironed, you will find it's very, very easy to do this. I'm looking inside again. Exactly. And I stitch all the way to the end. Yeah, I should have ironed it. I was too lazy to move the ironing board. Me and ironing, not so easy. Alright, now you fold this open and you can see already there is your first buttonhole, here is the next one, and here's the next one. Now you have the choice, you can just iron it flat like that and leave it, or if you want to work with different colors, and yeah, if you like it colorful, you can say, alright, why don't I stitch this over exactly actually what you've seen on the first part that I had finished already, which I showed you. Make sure your buttonholes are really open there. You can check that while you go down that way. And continue. Make sure the seams are really there together correctly. You could leave it by just doing that one seam stitched, but you can also say, no, if I do this all the way. That means you're stitching up that way as well. That means now already your buttonhole placket is totally prepared already. So Now you take one of your parts, the big parts, maybe you probably have the same color, not like me in two colors, and now you can make this decision if you want this placket exactly to be even on that edge, which I'm going to do now in this case because I showed you the first one, which I only just put a touch back so it has this special effect there. But on this one I won't do that. I will put it exactly edge on edge all the way along and just briefly stitch it here together. I don't need to go back and forth, but I can see it, as I have so many materials lying here, the machine wants to push it a little bit forward, and that's why I'm taking my pattern, and then I know this is perfectly done, just going down like that. And on the left side it looks like that, and here you see our buttonholes. Yeah, there's the other one, there's the third one. So how do we continue? I prepared this so it will be buttoned as for gents. That means that one will be on the bottom, that goes on the top. So I start with this one now. I put it about 1/2 centimeter away from the mark I did. Oh, that's something I haven't told you, of course. You must mark on your part where you want to put this placket. Of course, if it's a shirt, it's cut open already anyway, but in this case, you got to mark where you want it. So, put it about 1/2 centimeter away from your mark that you got. And now, take your pattern, your 3 centimeter pattern, or whichever size you got, and stitch it down to the length that you decided where you want your placket to finish. So in my case I marked it there, so I stop there. Now we have to put that one on. That means the wrong side is facing you at the moment, because all you have to do is try and test how it's supposed to look like when it's finished. And that means you gotta flap it open like that, turn it over, turn it around, and put this again in the position approximately 1/2 centimeter away from your drawing. And now you must test. Either you have 2 patterns exactly in the width of your placket. So let's say you would have 2 patterns 3 centimeter wide, then you could put that here as well and have them joining. But I don't have another one here to the hand, so I move this over till I see that I have exactly 3 centimeter in between here. Gotta move it another bit. It's not there yet where I want it. Now you can see I got 3 centimeters here, I got 3 centimeters here, and 3 centimeters there. And that's how I want it. And you must be sure you're going to start as if you would be creating a right angle here. And this last stitch again got to be held very firm. Very important. Again, you can measure. Altogether you should have 9 centimeters here. So I can move this out a touch. I got my 3, I got my 6, I got my 9. Without this pattern I would not do this. This helps me with anything I'm sewing. Alright, I'm turning this over now, and you can see my stitch very well. Now, same as if you're doing a pocket, you have to cut this in now, but only the main material, not the underneath. So go down right down the middle, but stop about 1.5–2 centimeters above your ending here, because now you again have to cut a triangle into here. Don't make it too flat, make it rather a big triangle, because the better it is to work with. and cut right away into that corner onto your last stitch that you got there. Pull those parts on the other side, on the left side, and already now you can check on your right side what it's going to look like. That would be the wrong way, doesn't matter, so I just turn it around, and now you can see there is your underneath part, here is your buttonhole part, which is going to go on top of your buttons, right there, like that. Now we have to finish off this corner, because that's still loose. That means put this all very straight, as if it would be all totally finished, stitched already, and just lift that up, and there you see your little triangle. And now we're going to stitch from corner to corner to hold this all in position. Also here, make sure you fasten the stitches very firm, very well, very important. That means practically your part is totally finished. All you would have to do now is put your buttons on, and your placket is finished. But I said I wanted to show you how you can also finish it off with a lining inside. Of course, you could now just, if it's a polo shirt or any chance shirt where you don't put a lining in, just finish off with your overlock or with a zigzag your sides, and it's just as tidy and clean. But if it would be for a dress, then take your lining, which is obviously cut to the part that you're going to be making, the front of a dress as an example, and now stitch right through the middle of your placket that is more or less finished here. Cut it down, but not all the way to where you went across there, which is right there. I will stop about 1.5–2 centimeters above that. Very important that you don't cut all the way down. Now you know this is the proper side of the lining. It's got to go on something like that to be finished, right? That means put left side on top of each other, and now just fold that over. Take the seam in your hand and put all that over to the other side. Now turn it over and start stitching again here on the top, and go exactly on top of the seam that you do have there. And the seam from the lining will also be 1.5 centimeters wide, because here on the bottom we have to have this 3 centimeter seam going across. That is why. And now all you have to do is stitch all the way along on top of your seam that is there already, and go all the way to your last stitch here where your part is crossing over, where your little triangle is. All the way down into that corner, and do a very good back and forth stitching again. Now turn it over. You can see your stitching there. Now again you have to cut a triangle. This seam isn't here yet, doesn't matter. So we only cut this particular one now, exactly into that corner, onto the last stitch that you got there. And now you'll take this, because you have to now think, what is it supposed to look like? I got to go up there. That means you take this one, fold it down, and put this up, all in a right angle again if possible. Now look underneath and you see your triangle. Lay this very flat, no crinkles in there. Flop it over, and again, after putting all this in a straight position, stitch exactly again from corner to corner. Make sure underneath there is no pleaches folded over. So I'm starting there. I look that this is all straight. And I finished exactly in that corner. And again, this last stitch and this first stitch has got to be firm. Got to be really firm. Now you can see, now you can finish your triangle cutting here. So I just go all the way there. I take this down and you see that part is finished. And here it's getting really easy because you can see you got a stitch up there now. So all you do is fold it over, take this end, turn it around, look at your seam, look again underneath that it's really flat there, and start exactly there again in your last stitch. Do a good back and forward stitching, put this a bit out of the way, and now look underneath where your lining is and stitch exactly along your seam that is already there. Open this up, have a look, that's your proper side. Turn it around and let me just iron this and I show you what it looks like, totally tidy finished. So here you can see my second one finished. That was the one, as I explained, the one with a slight stand over on the placket. This one is even on the edge, and now all you have to do is put some nice little buttons on, and you can see here are your buttonholes where you can just button your part up. Well, I hope I can really give you a nice idea for some creative sewing that you can do not only on your gents shirt. No, it's very, very nice for children clothes to work with many different colorful parts and colors. Enjoy all your good sewing, and I say goodbye for now. I hope you come around again. Tschüss.